the bit we were just watching from New York Story, that really is like the stereotype of New York, is that we have these attitudes and all that. What do you think the rules are for people coming here? What should they need, what do they need to know about New Yorkers and how to be around us?
Well, I mean, New York now, it's a whole different, it's a whole different ballgame. So, I mean, now you can be as sickeningly saccharine as you want, and everyone's fine with it. But I mean, back in the old days, you had to have a little bit of a, like, you know what I mean? You couldn't just be like now everybody talks probably because I blame Facebook and, where people like positive, like, make yesterday, today's tomorrow. And it's like, oh, geez. Let your potential become the reality, what? And those things all got invented in California. That's how they should be there. That's how they are.
Keep them.
But New York wasn't supposed to be like that.
Keep them there, right? Yeah. Keep them there.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, yeah, how you doing? Like just kind of rolling your eyes like, I'm getting through. I'm not stopping.
One of the things that is kind of a pet peeve for those of us who grew up outside of New York City, so I'm an upstate New Yorker, like way upstate, closer to Canada than New York. I grew up in the Adirondacks. And we feel like the rest of the state is completely ignored and that New York is like, the city is the state. Do you travel to the whole triangle of New York State?
I grace some of my presence once in a while, but I don't know why you feel that way. We don't feel that way about upstate.
And I love how New Yorkers call Westchester anything higher than the Bronx is not upstate.
Right. No, upstate, yeah.
When you have snow in June, that's upstate. Yeah. So we thought this would be awesome since he's one of the best ranchers on the planet. I wanted to give him a minute. We do this from time to time on the show. Meant to say anything you want, but we're gonna call this one a New York Minute. Are you ready?
Sure.
60 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Starts now.
All right, let me explain what New York was when I was a kid. First of all, there were people on the street. Like, you wouldn't just see people going to and from work. You'd go to your block, and there were actually people outside. Now the streets are deserted at all times. We'd be playing ball in the streets. Everybody playing the ball. It was very sanitary. It was like exposed electrical wiring was home base. And refrigerator coolant running down. And there was dog and cigarette butts everywhere. Because in those days, if somebody was like, hey, your dog, and you said you should pick up, they'd punch you in the face, If you saw somebody cleaning up after the dog, you'd think they'd snap their nose off. And cigarettes, adults would flick cigarettes in the middle of your game. And they would just insult kids like, yeah, he's good, but he's gonna be a fat teenager and flick a cigarette. And then, that's what adults used to do. They would insult you. They thought you could cure serious problems with insults. Like, if a kid was like manic depressive, like, yeah, he's a drip. He's a wet noodle. It's like, if you go to that's it.